Hello. Today we're going to be talking about working with primary families. How many of you carry a picture of a child with you in your wallet? More likely you have it on your phone. What can you tell me about this cute little boy or girl? Usually people share stories with me about the interactions they have with this child, or they tell me some really cute characteristics of the little boy or girl that they love. Now let's pretend today that you need to go run errands specific to caring for this child. And you take your companion or your spouse with you, if you have one, and while you're out, you're involved in a very tragic accident. Unfortunately, it claims your lives. Now your child has nowhere to go. They come into the foster care system. Do you have some concerns about this? Are you wondering who's going to put them to bed tonight? You're wondering if they know what chapter book they need to be reading? Who's going to pack their school lunch? What if they have an allergy to peanuts? What if they need to be to soccer practice after school? Who's going to be picking up your little girl or little boy? And of even greater concern, does it worry you that your child may be fearful or alone or feeling sad and they don't know how to take care of them? After all, they've never had any interaction with your child. These are some of the very common fears that happen for primary families when their children come into custody. So what can we do? As caregivers, you have the wonderful opportunity to help children bridge the gap from removal back to reconnecting and then to the beautiful opportunity of reunification. You have this immense opportunity to do this for children, and we know that this can be fearful. In fact, we find that it is one of the most fearful and difficult things for all members of the team who are involved. So let's talk about some of the common fears that we find foster parents have when working with a primary family. First, primary families are violent and dangerous people who might be a threat to my family. This is a concern for a number of people. At the state level, many things are put into place to create safety for you. It's of the utmost concern. What we find, however, is that the majority of primary parents have the great capacity of interacting with you and creating a working relationship. So you can plan for that to be the more likely scenario. There is always the other option, though. Sometimes families can't work with you. In this case, the utmost of security is created. You will see this in visitation. And what that looks like is in the initial stages of visitation, it's created in a more supervised situation, which allows for families to build a relationship of trust and capacity, and their children are visited usually within the walls of a DCFS office. As that trust builds, we move towards an unsupervised visitation situation. Often this happens at a McDonald's or a park or somewhere that they can play. And then later, as we gain more and more capacity, the family gets to move towards reunification. This means children go home. They get to have visits in their own natural setting, and sometimes they might even have visits at your house if you're comfortable. Now, if at any time you feel like this is not a secure situation, you need to let your caseworker know, because they're going to want to create an opportunity for security for you, and they have the ability to do so. Second, primary parents will be able to do not have the ability to love and care for their children because they've abused and neglected and hurt them. So these kinds of fears often make us think that they're not going to be good parents after all. But the truth of the matter is that most primary parents truly love and care for their children. And they have this ability to want to try and do their very best, but they are not able to due to the circumstances they live in. The level of stress that they're under creates opportunities for abuse and neglect to occur. So let's talk about a for instance. Let's pretend that you're the mother of 3 children, ages 3, 5, and 7, and your child has been sick, the 7-year-old, for the last 5 days with a cold. Now, you've recently got a job at a dollar store and you make about $300 a week. You need every bit of that to make rent this month and also to pay for your food. You're out of your food stamp money, you've used that for the month, so it'll require cash, as well as you'll need gas money. Well, this morning, your daughter has woke up and she has a fever of 102 degrees and she's listless. It's a school day, she should be at school, but she can't possibly go. And you need to be at work. What are you going to do? Here are some scenarios. First, you could send her to your great aunt's house. She usually watches the kids, but more recently, she has been feeling under the weather. In fact, the last time she watched sick children, the result was she got pneumonia. So you could send her there, but your child is not going to get the medical care they need. You will be able to meet your obligations at work and take care of your bills. Number two, maybe you could call your sister and she could send over her 10-year-old child and your niece could watch your daughter while you are at work. This is a possibility, but this leaves two children at home alone and the medical care still won't happen. Number three, you could decide you need to take time away from work, apply for Medicaid so you could qualify for a free medical appointment. This way your child has the capacity to be seen at a doctor's office. Unfortunately, you're going to miss a lot of work. It may cost you your job. 4, it's possible you could just take them into a medical appointment and pay for it outright. This is going to take away from the money that you've been saving for your rent. And since you've been rent late before, it's possible it could create an eviction opportunity. Then 5, maybe you decide that the best thing to do is to take your child with you to work. You're going to lay her in the back seat, cover her up with a blanket, get her a juice box and tell her, I'm going to come out and check on you throughout the day. This is one option that you could do, and she won't get the medical care she needs, but you'll be able to take care of all of your financial obligations. So, which one of these items would you choose? Do any of these work for your ethical or moral situation? It's not uncommon that we have families who think, I can't pick from any of these. These aren't the best options. But in truth, these are the kinds of situations that primary families often find themselves in. They add additional stress, and while they don't mean to hurt, abuse, or neglect their children, it creates that kind of a situation. Third, I'm going to be responsible for caring for children who are in foster care, and I'm also going to be responsible for taking care of their families. The truth is primary families have a long list of goals that they will be working on in unison with you, but at no time are you responsible for the care of biological parents. That just would be counterproductive to the entire purpose of them moving through the system and becoming more self-reliant. So you can expect that's not an obligation. Now, historically, foster parenting has been a rescuing operation. Many, many years it's been devoted to, can we just create safety for children? Let's take them out of an abusive, neglectful environment and put them into the security of a foster home. And this is one way we can handle things, but unfortunately, it just creates more problems down the line for the system. So in today's society, what has worked best, we have found in the system, is for you to create an opportunity to bond with children with the parents. You form a professional relationship with the foster caring team and particularly with the family that you'll be working with, creating visitation and other opportunities for them to visit. You may be fearful about this kind of opportunity. We've already started to talk about this. It's going to feel like you're diving into a deep pool of water. You have no idea what's in there. You have to swim around and figure it out, and that can be frightening. But let's talk about how can you dive in and have the best experience for bonding and connecting with the children and their families. 1, you might want to improve your desire. Can you end any of the preconceived notions that you have about working with primary families? Are you willing to open up to the possibility of creating a relationship with the family of the children that are in your care. How can you do that? Well, it will require that you be the first to step forward many times. And you're going to feel like you're waving a white flag that says, I'm coming in peace. Please don't fire on me. But the likely truth is that you're going to have many times when you approach with kindness, and you will need to secure opportunity with this family that demonstrates, I truly desire to build a working relationship with you. Here's some simple things you can do. Talk to them. Ask them, what does your child like to eat? Tell me how you soothe them when they're upset. If you're in a room, and you frequently will be, you'll find that families look at you for answers. They start talking to the foster family when you're in a team meeting, asking questions about the child. If the parent is in the room, refer to them. Ask them, what would you do? How would you like us to handle this situation? That's a beautiful way to demonstrate to a parent you truly value their opinion and want to work with them. Invest. Invest in the relationship between the child and the parent. Let them know that their child talks about them. They miss them, that they delight in being a part of their family. You can bring a beautiful colored work of art to give to them on a visitation day. You can bring a photograph that you've taken through the week. Maybe you'll even set up a Facebook account that's private just to them, someplace that they have an opportunity to listen and to see how they're doing in the week. They'll get a picture, you'll talk about what's going on in school. These are wonderful ways that we show a family we care. You can bring a snack to a visit. Anything you do that says to this family, I care about your investment in your child, will help do tremendous good. Have you ever been on a trip away from home and you're just worried about what's going on there, and then somebody sends you a text, a cute picture, tells you everything's going fine at home? Does it put your mind at ease? Are you able to go back to work or enjoy your vacation? Can you imagine what this does for a biological family, for the primary family to relax, to go about the business of healing through the hard work of recovering from addiction, or even to help them find a job or continue to work on looking for a place to live? These are some of the important things you can do when you invest. Value. V. How can you demonstrate value? By caring about your job, by understanding the incredible importance of the work that you're doing in helping connect families back to children. This is an emotional, deep connection that they have with their children often, and it will be important for you to demonstrate, I care about that, and I value that, and I value my role in the ability to care for your child and help them to connect back to you. Do you understand that families who have visits twice or more a month with their children are better settled in their foster homes? They do better. Children who have visits with their parents have less anxiety and fear and less depression. So we know that this is a truly valuable thing we offer to primary families. E, expression. You're literally going to have weekly interaction with the primary family, probably in the form of family team meetings and other visits. You need to find a way to have very honest and open communication. This means, in a very positive way, you can say up front, these are the days I'm available. I want to see children get to see you. On Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, I have the capacity to do that. Let them know when you're not available, so that people know what your schedule needs are also. These are some things that help move us through the system in a more positive way. Expect that there is going to be times of confrontation. It's just part of the system. We're working through so many difficult issues when we're talking about children's needs and about the healing process. But if you come to approach things when you deal with a primary family in a way that says, I need to talk to you about something hard, but I'm here and I care, you demonstrate one of the most primary things we do in a relationship, which says, this is hard stuff and I'm not giving up, but you need to know we need to work on this. This is a good way to build a relationship. These are some of the valuable things that we do that demonstrate we are invested in children, that we care about the relationship they have with their children, and that we have the power to create a relationship and share and express ourselves in ways that say we want to connect with you. Now, last of all, this is going to feel like an exploration. And I mean in the truest sense of the word, you're going to feel like you are moving into uncharted territory. You can expect that you're going to lose your way, that you're going to make steps into the path that you are going to have better ways of handling later on. That's all part of exploration, is to jump in, try something out, make mistakes along the way, and improve as we go. That's the kind of exploration you do when you foster care, when you do foster care work. I'd like to finish with a wonderful quote from Ambrose Redmoon. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Thank you.